Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Chop with the Bit. I'm Kyle Edwards, of course. Now, in this episode, the World Cup is around the corner. It's actually tomorrow. We get one game tomorrow, and then with three games Monday. But then I believe after that, there'll be four games a day throughout the group stage. Uh, Very exciting time for me because I'm a big soccer fan. Hopefully, you are as well. But when I sit down to watch the World Cup, I love to take it as much as I can because it's just probably the greatest form to kind of consume soccer in because you're getting the best players from a bunch of clubs come together to play for their country. And with that, pride and all that steps in. At the end, one country's crowned the World Cup champion. So if you're not a soccer fan and you're tuning into this episode, I will say that if you wanted to get into soccer, starting with the World Cup is a good place to start because you'll see, like I said, a lot of the guys that, play in different leagues and all that all centralized in one location during the World Cup. So you don't have to worry about trying to find out which club this guy plays for, when do they play, what league are they in. With the World Cup, it's all together. So that's definitely one of the benefits to it. But I'm gonna try something a little different on this episode though, because I'm actually gonna predict the group stage. Here in a second, I'll pull up a little bracket predictor, and then I'll fill out how I think each group will go, and then we'll see at the end of the group stage how well I did. Now, before I get into that, I will say normally the World Cup is in the summer, but of course they gave the World Cup to, once again, it's either Qatar. You'll probably hear it pronounced both those ways during the World Cup. There may even be other pronunciations out there, but those are the two you probably commonly will hear. Because of the climate over there, they couldn't do it in the summer. Because if they did, the field would be like 140 degrees or something, and then you're dealing with exhaustion, dehydration, all that kind of stuff. So they pushed it to a Winter World Cup, which I guess will be the first one ever. Don't quote me on that, but it's going to be interesting to see how the World Cup does going from basically pre Thanksgiving to, I think, pre Christmas. And we know that's kind of a time where the NBA really takes off because, NBA is a big deal on Christmas. Thanksgiving is usually an NFL thing. So the NFL is already really popular, but it kind of grows even more. So I wonder on days where the World Cup and the NFL or NBA cross, how that affects ratings and all that. That's one. Two, we all know that FIFA has their issues as a governing body. A lot of people weren't excited that Qatar got the World Cup, but it is what it is. This is what FIFA is. Kind of push that aside for the month and really focus on the field. And for FIFA, it's a great distraction for them. And as you know, the next World Cup, which would be in 2026, will be in, it's going to be a joint one. It's going to be in US, Canada, Mexico. So they're going to use a bunch of stadiums within mainly the US, but I believe Canada, they're going to use, I think it's like two or three stadiums up there. I know one in Toronto, Toronto Stadium, Vancouver. For some reason, I think there might be a third one, but it might be just those two. And then Mexico, I think there's a couple of stadiums down there that they'll use. So 4 years from now, it's going to be, very exciting. And, the U.S., last time the World Cup was in the U.S., or at least centralized in the U.S., it was a big deal. We'll have to see. Usually the attention to the World Cup is tied to how good the U.S. men's national team is. Now, let's go into that before I get through this bracket. The U.S. men's national team will probably be one of the youngest nations over at the World Cup. I'm perfectly fine with that because the U.S. really needed to do this because the the old guard that we had, your Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, Michael Bradley, DeMarcus Beasley, guys like that, their time came and went, and it looked like for a little bit there that there was going to be a real rough transition because not a lot of young players are kind of coming through the system. Well, fast forward to today, you got a lot of them. You know, um, Pulisic, we all know, but you still have McKinney, you got Yunus Musa, Tim Weah, Sergino Dest, Weston McKinney. So a lot of newish type names. I mean, McKinney, Pulisic have been known for a little bit, but you'll see, a lot of young players for the U.S. and I think that's perfect. So not a lot of expectations. The U.S. will they get out of the group stage or not? We'll see how my predictions go. But we can't be disappointed that they don't win the World Cup. It's a young group. It's a learning experiment for them. Greg Beerhalter will get to see what this team has up against tough international competition in a tournament format like the World Cup. We're going to see because step one, of course, get out of the group stage, which is not going to be easy. Shouldn't be. They shouldn't think it's going to be. So we're going to see how that carries over. But um, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get into this bracket predictor that you can see right over there. So I'm going to go ahead, fill this out, give some quick explanations for my thoughts, and then, yeah, we'll just kind of see and get ready for the game tomorrow. So here we are. We got Group A, which we have Qatar, Senegal, Ecuador, and the Netherlands. So the game tomorrow is Qatar, only well because they're the host nation, which actually gave them a bye into the World Cup. By hosting, you automatically are in the World Cup, of course, because why host the thing if you can't play in it? So I believe it's going to let me go from top to bottom here. So I fully expect the Netherlands to win this group because it's the Netherlands. They're one of the gold standards in terms of European soccer, and I just think in this group they're clearly the class of it. Now, who comes in second is a little different. I was kind of leaning towards Senegal. Only problem is, believe yesterday they said Mane is going to miss the World Cup, and he's Senegal's best player. So I think because of that, I'm gonna lean Ecuador here. But I do think it's going to be real close, even though Senegal isn't, 100%. I do think Senegal poses a challenge in this group because, you know, the way Senegal plays, they like to press a lot. They have a lot of talent on their team, I will say. So they're not going to make it easy for either the Netherlands or Ecuador. But I just think missing Mane will eventually be their downfall. And then I'll go Senegal third, which means Qatar fourth, the host nation. Now, Group B, the group that you all probably are waiting to see my predictions for. So, obviously, England comes in as the class of the group. This is supposed to be, England's most talented team. They're more than just Harry Kane up top. You got Raheem Sterling, who is very dangerous off of his. I think Sterling usually plays off of his right, but there are some questions about the England squad. There's some questions about was it Southgate, who was the manager. He does like to play conservatively, but I do think the talent is there that England does win the group. I do think there is a way that the U.S. could actually win this group. Well, I guess I kind of gave away my second place. Now, of course, the U.S. England game will probably let us know who wins the group or not. I wouldn't be shocked that ended as like a 1-1 draw, but U.S. faces Wales first. I think it was Wales. Then they play England, then Iran, I believe. So the Wales game is one that they're going to have to win. Won't be necessarily a cakewalk, but I think Wales is coming into this one winning 2 of their last 10 qualification games or something like that. Then they're not necessarily on the best um, streak right now. And with Wales, of course, Gareth Bale is going to be the guy you have to pay the most attention to. And because of that, I think the U.S. wins that game. Looking at maybe like 2-0. Now, I'm kind of going to surprise you here. I actually think Iran finishes third and Wales ultimately comes in last in this group. Iran is a sneaky team in this group as well. If the U.S. isn't careful and doesn't play their best, I think Iran is a team that could beat them. And with that, that could change the order of this. If Iran were to beat the U.S., we could see Iran finish second and U.S. completely and get eliminated in the group stage. But I think the U.S. finds a way to do it. It's going to be a interesting to see with the U.S. with their goalkeeping situation. I'm assuming that what's his name? I just because they have Horvath, Sean Johnson, and the dude who's playing at Arsenal, Matt Turner. Can't believe I just forgot him. He played for the Revolution, but I'm assuming that Matt Turner will probably get the first start. But hopefully, he's in great form and can lead the U.S. out of this group. But that's the way I see Group B going. Group C, I think is a little bit more straightforward. Argentina, clearly. I mean, Messi. I think Messi's trying to get his first World Cup uh, title. So a lot of motivation there. He's not getting any younger. He does. He's not. Yeah, I mean, he can't be sure how many more World Cups he has in his body. This could be it for him. Maybe he's got one more in him. So I think there's gonna be a lot of um, determination with Argentina to try to get one for Messi, who's you know I would say arguably the best player to ever come out of Argentina. Now, second in this group, see, Mexico hasn't been playing their best either recently, but I'm gonna go Mexico coming in second. Very questionable. Mexico is another squad that's kind of in transition, so I think this could go one of two ways. They could look like a complete mess in this group and finish like last, or the young guys kind of step up in this one and you know put it all together for a nice little run here in the group stage and they get out of the group. I could be completely wrong, but I do think they have some young guys who are going over for their first time with this World Cup, and I think that's what they're gonna have to lean on. So I'm gonna go Mexico second, then Saudi Arabia third, and Poland to come in last. All right, so Group D, once again, it's another one. You got to go France. Now, there was the news earlier today about Benzema being out for the World Cup. It's a big loss for France, but France has plenty of other talent to make up for that. But Benzema is a key goal scorer. He's that guy who is a menace in the box. He'll score a lot of goals off of headers. He can score off the run of play. But they have a guy over there named Mbappe. Not too bad. So I think France gets out of this group. I'm going to go Denmark to come second in this group. I like Denmark. I feel like they're one of those European nations that kind of fly a little bit under the radar, but they're a very talented team. So I fully expect them to come second in this one. Then I'll go Australia, Tunisia. All right, let's go Group E. Let's get through these. So for Group E, this is a tough one at the top because you have Germany and Spain in this group. That's going to be an interesting game when they face each other. Costa Rica is no slouch as well. Japan can be tough. Um, as far as I can remember, Japanese squads are usually very stingy defensively. They're very like technically sound, and they can kill you on the counter. That's least how I remember Japan playing. I got to be honest with you, I haven't seen Japan play that much this World Cup cycle, but I'm assuming the tradition hasn't died or anything like that. But I'm gonna say Germany wins the group. I'm gonna go Spain second. I'll say Costa Rica third, Japan fourth. But this could be a group that's really tight and could come down to goal differential with a couple of spots here. But I expect this group to be really competitive. All right, Group F. Think we're straightforward to who's going to win this one. Belgium. I mean, Belgium's another really talented team. I think it was just a few years ago they were talking about the golden age for Belgium. I don't know if it's still that, but if it's not, there's still plenty of talent on that Belgium squad. And I fully expect them to win this group. Now, second, I think it's going to come down to Canada and Croatia. I'm going to go Canada. Canada is one of those overlooked teams in CONCACAF, at least up until recently, where Canada's really started making noise because CONCACAF's usually been US and Mexico, but you know, Canada's broken into that and has found themselves at times at the top of that group and other times kind of split in between it. So now CONCACAF is kind of three deep with US, Mexico, and Canada. You have to give Canada a lot of respect. They have a talented squad. They offensively, they're pretty good. When they have it clicking, they can put goals up uh, in bunches. I think that's going to play well here in the group stage. Now, beyond that, don't know, but I think Canada can secure second place and get out of the group. Then I'd go Croatia with Morocco falling fourth. Morocco will be tough. I will say that. The U.S. played Morocco. Morocco likes to press high. They're aggressive and they like to get out in the counterattack. All right, Group G. I mean, come on. Brazil. Of course, Brazil's going to win this group. They don't. Shocked. I think this is going to be an interesting World Cup for Neymar because I think Neymar could use a deep run in the World Cup. Brazil possibly could win it. I think that would do a lot for Neymar. So I'm gonna go Brazil one. These three teams left in this group. I mean, Cameroon, probably the best African nation. Swiss, tough. Serbia, tough. I'm gonna go Cameroon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cameroon. Might be a surprise, but got a feeling. Then Swiss, the Serbs. All right, the following group, interesting group as well. This might be a surprise because I think most people think Portugal because of Ronaldo and all that. I'm gonna go Uruguay. I think Uruguay is a sneaky, talented team coming out of South America. Uruguay could be positioned to make a deeper run in this than people might think. Um, yeah, they kind of had like a little run here in South America where they really kind of put stuff together and are playing really well. So I'm gonna put them at the top of this group. I'm gonna go Portugal second, but I think it might be a goal differential thing over Ghana. All right, so that's the group stage with Korea coming in last. So this is how my knockout round would line up. Go Netherlands versus the US. That'd be a tough matchup for the US. I could play this out, but I think I'll leave this for another episode. Um, I'd have Argentina, Denmark. That'd be a really interesting game. Two talented squads there. Germany, Canada. Like I said, Canada is kind of coming on in terms of respect internationally. Germany, I mean, it's Germany. They they're one of those top squads that when we think of soccer, most people think of Germany pretty quickly. It's a soccer factory there. Brazil, Portugal. Can you imagine that? Ronaldo, Neymar. I mean, that kind of writes itself for FIFA. England, Ecuador. Interesting. France, Mexico. I mean, France would probably overpower Mexico, but who knows? Belgium, Spain. Interesting matchup there. Two talented squads that maybe internationally have kind of fallen short these past few years, but the talent's there for them to make a run. And then Uruguay, Cameroon. So yeah, I'll say this for another episode. Maybe once we get out of the group stage, if all these teams were to make it out, I mean, might have to start giving me some credit for that. But yes, so let's bring it back up here. So that's how I see the World Cup going. And here's my question for you guys down in the comments. Do you think the U.S. make it out of the group stage? As you see, I have them making it out. Do you agree with me? Let me know down in the comment section. But I think other than that, I think we can kind of end this episode here. So thank you guys for tuning in. But just to remind you guys as well, check me out, Sports Empire Network. It's on Facebook, YouTube, Tiki Live as well if you want to watch it on TV. But I do Tuesday nights, the Big Three podcast, Thursday nights, pregame pigskin, and then this past Friday, well, actually, yeah, this past Friday I was on the N1 podcast. Had a little technical difficulty, so I wasn't on for the whole show. But I'll probably pop up on that show every so often, and that's like Friday nights at 10 o'clock. But Tuesday and Thursdays, I'm there every week. Um, Also, find me JJL Sports Talk Show, YouTube, Facebook, and the episodes also are published for my audio people like an hour or so after wherever you listen to podcasts. So check me out over there as well. Have a great time over there with Jordan, and we just kind of kick it talking sports. See what else I gotta tell you. Also, yes, follow me over on TikTok. I'm starting to do videos over there. I've got a couple up right now where I talk about contenders and pretenders in terms of the NFL. So if you go to TikTok at Chompin Podcast, that's my channel. Please follow me. Like I said, I'm gonna start doing a lot of things over there. So trust me, you'll enjoy it. But yeah. So with that, appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Channel starting to grow a little bit here, slowly but surely. But uh, you know, hey, we'll see how far this goes. Right now, I'm loving it. So hopefully you guys continue to like the stuff I put out there. But as I always say, be safe out there. God bless. I'll catch you next episode. All right. Have a good one. I'll see you guys.